Hey there, Media Mail Gang. It is Katie with KateyReads, and welcome back to the channel. Real quick, I wanted to show an example, a little bit of a comparison. Thank ThriftBooks for sponsoring this video, and I think this is a really good example of how to do a comparison between the three marketplaces that I kind of look at now with ThriftBooks Buyback program, eBay, Amazon, all of that. This is an isolated one book example, but I think it's a good example, so that's why I wanted to share it really quick with you guys. So here we have this anthology, nothing super crazy special about it. It's a barcode book, okay? Something you could scan. Now, I'm not using Scout IQ for this right now because I'm not currently using Scout IQ very often. Um, so I won't be using it for this example. I'm going to be using Amazon Seller Central to compare. So I want to put that out there for those of you that are watching and are kind of wondering what I'm using to get the data that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so first I scanned it for ThriftBooks, and ThriftBooks agreed to pay me $2.60. Now, I want you to keep in mind that $2.60 is guaranteed. It is as soon as I close out my quote with them and I send it off, as long as this book isn't shredded and torn to pieces and covered in water damage or mold or anything crazy, they're going to give me $2.60 for it. Guaranteed. On eBay, it's selling anywhere from $10 to $16 based on sold comps over the past 90 days. I want to emphasize that because you're only seeing the past 90 days on eBay. And the same thing with Scout IQ and other softwares, you're seeing limited data. So just keep that in mind with some of these books. So this is what I would consider like a bread and butter low end book. I would list this at that price point. However, sold listings are 7 and current active listings are 43. So that brings it, I have some notes, it brings it to a 16% sell-through rate. I like to be at 20 to 30. 16 isn't horrible, and I would list it, but it's $10 to $16 free shipping. So then that bumps it down to more of, let's say, because this is a thick one, so this is going to be at least 2 to 3 pounds. So let's say it's $6 to ship it. That bumps it down to actually a price of like $4 to $10. So that kind of deters me a little bit to flip it on eBay. Granted, I could still list it at $10 plus shipping, but it's going to sit. Now, with Amazon FBA, again, I used Amazon Seller Central, so you're going to want to keep that in mind. But Amazon FBA used, it's selling for $19.31. And immediately that sounds so much better, right? Well, in Amazon Seller Central, and again, I'm going to show screenshots, you can see what your projected fees would be. And after estimated fees from Amazon, you're looking at $8.56 in potential profit. Now, I have to say potential profit because this is a 400K ranked book, just under like 450K. So in theory, it should sell in 3 months, kind of 3 to 6 maybe. Definitely under 6. That's another caveat to this. So, okay, let's say $8.56. You list it for 1931, you send it off to Amazon. You have to take into consideration the shipping to send it to Amazon's warehouse. So, one box of maybe 30 books, let's say it's $6 to $7 to ship, will be on the low end and say $6, about 20 cents a book to get it shipped in. Okay, so that bumps it down to $8.36. Because I am a individual account and not a professional account, I have to pay 99 cents when it sells. So that also brings my profit down to $7.36. Then we have other FBA offers involved, and this is important, especially where the lowest price is right now, because sending it off into Amazon, your repricer is eventually going to kick in at some point if it doesn't sell like right away when it hits the warehouse. And currently there's 6 other FBA offers on this book, some as low as $11.69 and free shipping. That was acceptable condition. This one I would consider more of like good or very good, probably good because there's a little bit of stuff down here. But most of the books I send in, I just consider all of them good. I never ever list anything as new, and you shouldn't either. So, with all those factors into play, now we're down to $7.36. All assuming that we stay at the 1931 price point, okay? Because this could fluctuate. If it goes down slowly but surely, that $7.36 goes down as well. And the fees may adjust as the price changes. And fees, I mean Amazon's fees, because referral fees are pretty set, but then you have the other percentages that goes into Amazon fees. Um, and so we've got all these factors where the $7.36 now is kind of the highest that we're going to get. We could get way lower or lower over time because let's say this doesn't sell in 6 months, then we're getting hit with a storage fee. It's July right now, so in 6 months it would be January, so we would pass the storage fee inflated charge because October through December you're going to have inflated storage fees because of the Christmas season. So there's just so much when you are looking at potential profit for Amazon. And so that's why I've been really, really picky about what I send into Amazon. And at $8.56, I actually would not send this in. Again, this is my choice, my thoughts, my business model, my approach. I wouldn't list this on eBay either because the sell-through rate isn't exactly where I want to be. And almost every single sold comp has free shipping involved. And so I would be more inclined to just take the $2.60 and keep it moving because that's $2.60 that I'm guaranteed. And then we've got time that we have to factor in too. So, like, I put a box together, I'll get a box done by the end of today, send it off tomorrow to ThriftBooks. Within a few days, it's going to get checked in. 1 day to process ish. And then as soon as it's processed, usually within 24 hours, I get a PayPal deposit. So, absolute worst case scenario, about a week start to finish to get my payout for all the books. With Amazon, I put it together. I have to list. That's another added step. I have to list it. I have to use GoToLister, use my software, list it, put the little sticker on the back, put it in a box, send it off to the FBA warehouse, wait a good week for it to hit the warehouse. It does take usually that long. It does take a little while to get to the warehouse. It could sell immediately, it could not. Again, depending where it's at in the market and how many are available by the time it hits the warehouse. Those other FBA offers could have left and I could be the only one, and that could be in my favor. And then again, it's just like the waiting game. And then the same thing with eBay. Like I could list it, take the time, take the photos, do the listing, do the work, and then it could sit. It could sit for a month, it could sit for a few days. Like you just don't know. And for this low of a profit point for me in my where I'm at with things, I'd rather just take the $2.60 and keep it moving. So, I guess this is just like an example of how I'm approaching certain profit points and certain books now with my new flow. Not to say that I wouldn't list this on eBay. This is a book that old me before ThriftBooks would have listed on eBay. But getting that guaranteed faster nickel is honestly worth it for me, and it allows me to immediately get paid faster and put that money back into my business, pay my bill, do whatever I need to do with the money that I make, right? So I hope this is kind of a okay example for you guys to kind of see. I hope it kind of also opens your eyes to like time versus potential profit and being a little bit pickier about that. For a long time, I have had pushback about how I pick up inventory being a time consuming thing. And so my argument is typically yes, I have a time consuming process to getting inventory, doing free pickups, doing the manual processing myself, not cherry picking, going through a bunch of stuff to find the good stuff. I definitely get that. But in turn, my business model is not focused on wasting even more time. So that's why I'm very like Now that I've found the good stuff, I've taken the time to find the good stuff. Now I'm going to make sure that as quickly as possible, I'm getting an ROI on it so I can keep it moving. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of my mindset and my approach. Again, there is no right or wrong, there's no size fits all. I just wanted to show an example and a fee kind of like breakdown of what this looks like. Every book is going to be different, every situation is going to be different. I sell a lot of lots on eBay, and that's one of my more higher dollar items. Is something that you can do as well when you're looking at eBay. I would never break up a lot of books, like a ton of Nancy Drew books. I would never break that up and sell individual ones to like ThriftBooks or something like that. I feel like it's better having a value of everything together. So this is more of just like an individual book basis comparison because that's kind of how I approach it. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you found value. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.